Yeah, I've been trying to like write a script for this the past like day or so, especially after seeing the stream. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just get right into it. I really am excited for Siege X, and I think it's not Siege 2 because we don't need Siege 2. Ubisoft knows we don't need Siege 2, but it's exactly what we need. It's a direct engine overhaul, and I think it's gonna, at least for the most part, go pretty well. I am gonna briefly go over what was in the Siege X presentation and the changes that are coming, just so, people that didn't somehow see the stream aren't left without any context whatsoever. So the first thing that's really coming to Siege X is a complete engine visually like rework. So lighting can now be more in depth and not necessarily static anymore without having to sacrifice the graphic fidelity of the game, which is the whole reason why they had to change the lighting in the past for all my old Siege players that remember how Siege used to look and how buggy it was. Now we're essentially kind of gonna go in between to an in between section of old Siege's incredibly drastic lighting and modern Siege's competitive visibility, where we're gonna have a nice, where it's gonna actually really look nice. Actually, I remember looking at it and going like, wow, I actually like this more than I did old Siege because it was beautiful, but I could also still see things without having to like squint my eyes so much. I don't know how else to say it. It was pretty cool looking. Another thing coming to CGX is a complete and total audio rework, and holy shit, I think that's the thing I'm excited for the most because, at least to me, most things in Siege kind of sounded relatively static, but in not necessarily a great way. Yeah, you could have some directional audio, but I think everybody knows what I'm going to talk about in this next part. Just because it was directional, that doesn't mean it was the right direction. I've had moments where there was somebody behind me making noise on my left, and I hear something on the staircase to my right. So I look over and swing the staircase, and then the person behind me gets scared, freaks out, and then kills me. So it looks like we won't be having that issue anymore. Finally, the last thing that we're getting coming to CGX is completely brand new map interactables. So we're going to get things like gas pipes, fire extinguishers, and metal detectors are being completely changed so that way you can actually interact with them more. If you want to, say, leave them on and have them act as a pseudo proximity alarm, attackers can now EMP them, or and either side can simply just outright break them with explosives. That, I mean, come on, that is a cool change. It is a change that we've been asking for a while, and I feel like Ubisoft is actually listening to us now that they've actually implemented these changes. Okay, but in all seriousness, I'm going to stop entirely glazing CJX, and I do want to bring up a little bit of concerns that I have coming into this. First, mainly because the fact that it's a complete engine overhaul, we don't exactly know how many more bugs are going to come into the game versus how many are going to get fixed at the time. Because we all know Siege. It's basically been a spaghetti code game. It's always had some bugs, returning ones, new ones, and shit that really shouldn't be returning has always been returning. But here's hoping that with Siege X being a complete engine overhaul, they've actually been able to streamline some of the code. So it's really a 50-50. We don't know if there are going to be bugs or if there aren't going to be bugs. We'll just have to wait and see. There is also another new thing that is coming with Siege X called Dual Front, but I'm not going to talk about it here in this video. I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to talk about it in another video because I think that needs its own video to talk about and essentially discuss, because trying to stuff it into a Siege X like reactions commentary just really isn't appropriate, at least for me. But I need to get back on track. There are a lot of good things that are going to be coming with Siege X, but there's also the double-edged sword of what are the things that we don't know about Siege X that could possibly make the game worse. For instance, we do know that when Siege X launches, the game's going free to play. This itself is a double-edged sword. We know that more people are easily going to be able to get into the game, try it out, see if they like it, but then we don't actually know if this will have an increase in cheaters because, I mean, lately the anti-cheat has been working, but every single time a game has went free to play, I think Counter-Strike, I think Team Fortress 2, a mass of cheaters has always appeared. This is common with any free-to-play game because it's really easy to just make an account and then go click on a free game and play that, and then cheat on it. And then when they ban you, you can just make another account, get on the game again, and then keep cheating. It's a double edged sword, keeps the game alive longer, but also could probably kill the game with the amount of cheaters. Thankfully, it does seem like Ubisoft has realized that point in of itself, because the anti-cheat team, or I guess security team, technically, I don't know. I'm doing this all on one take. Has been doing a way, way better job about actually responding to the cheating presence, banning the accounts, or penalizing those that aren't actually cheating that much. In my opinion, cheating is still cheating, so I'm not gonna get into that. But they do realize that going free to play means that they will have to bring up security, and that's exactly what they've been working on, which I do find incredibly interesting, because it's not like them to usually just ignore these concerns. They would at least do something, but now they're doing the exact opposite. They're not even trying to ignore it at all. They're going full frontal with it. I believe one of the I gotta hold on. I'm gonna have to pull up the article. Yeah, I just actually pulled it up. So apparently, one of the at the time biggest cheat providers, Clar, completely entirely shut down their siege division of cheats because it was simply too hard and too resource intensive to actually break through and it can developing cheats for the game. It simply wasn't worth the effort, and that's a really good sign. What are the major cheat devs? Shutting down their entire division for one game, that's huge. And that gives me a little more optimism about Rainbow Six Siege. I have been yapping for long enough, though, so I am going to summarize how I feel and what I think about Siege X going into the future. I really think that if executed absolutely properly, Siege X is going to completely change how we play Rainbow Six Siege without changing how we play Rainbow Six Siege. It's going to make things so much easier, much more interesting, and it will feel less droughty when we don't have any content. But Siege X has to be executed properly if that is the case. And if it's not executed properly, we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, I've been talking long enough. My name is CardinalS. I'm just some dumbass on the internet who enjoys games a little too much, and I will see all of you in the next video. Have a good one.